It's my husband and I's engagement anniversary. Anytime I tell this story, people get so angry. I hated my proposal. Hated. I'd said, hey, one thing about me, it can't be in a restaurant. Guess where it was? I know you guessed restaurant. Sure was. Which, after hearing about what his elaborate plan was, he was proposing at the restaurant where he told me he loved me. But this restaurant is on the St. Paul, Minnesota airstrip. So it's like a smaller airport. And their outdoor pavilion is right on the tarmac. So his plan was to hire like a small plane pilot to like fly down, drop it on the tarmac, get out and like hand my husband the ring. But this was during the time that the Canadian fires were going on and we were in Minnesota, obviously. And so Minnesota was having a lot of smoke. And so they couldn't be taking flights, especially just like shits and gigs flights. Also, we couldn't sit outside because, well, obviously there was smoke. One of the things that I was upset about after finding out is like, you knew days in advance that this wasn't going to go down, but you stuck to the plan, which is fine. Like, looking back, it is what it is. But my second request was that he had a photographer there, and my stepmom was very much involved in the process. I needed someone who was like gonna defend my thoughts and opinions, and she's very much like, oh, Catherine's just extra. She had reached out to one of her good friends whose daughter was actually one of my good friends growing up. That's actually how the moms met. And she wanted to use like her friend's photographer, and that photographer just never responded. So they just never researched another photographer. Like, that's very much my stepmom is like, if her friend doesn't have an answer, she doesn't do any more research. She's just like, it is what it is. And my husband went along with the plot. In a restaurant and no photographer.
Tell them the significance of the restaurant.
I already did. I already said the whole storyline. I already did. It was literally between a booth and the bar. We literally had probably this much space. He got down on one knee and I was just like, no. Mind you, also right here to our left was a couple at the bar. And it ended up being a great day. We had so much fun. Like, at the end of the day, we got engaged. Like, that was all that really mattered. If you ever see our engagement photos, us out on the tarmac, we staged those. I literally was like, bless you, baby. I was like, let's run this shit back and let's do it for the gram. Give me at least one thing here. So our engagement photos were taken on an iPhone on the tarmac, which was completely staged. Now I'm gonna drink my chia seeds drink because 4 years later, this is what our day looks like.